Hey everybody, what's going on? It's James here, and I wanted to sit down and shoot a quick tutorial video sharing with you some insights into where Bitcoin is at currently. And I want to show you a chart pattern that you can watch for in the future, because if you figure out this pattern, you essentially have the keys to the kingdom. This isn't about day trading. This is about long-term positional trading. So if we take a look at this chart here, what we see is we see AMC, and I have it in replay mode. Back in 2021 in January, I posted a setup on my social media. I said I had bought AMC, and it was because it had been in this long-term downtrend, and then it put in this sideways range. And that's what I always tell people. On social media, I often tell people, if you're buying in a bear market and you don't see a box forming, you're probably catching a falling knife. So like back here, there's a little bit of a box. So if somebody was buying here, I could say, you know what, you got caught, it was a bull trap. But if they're buying all through here, they were just, grasping at straws. Same thing all through here. But by the time this AMC got done here and started putting in this range, aka the box, I was ready to call that accumulation. And so I picked up AMC at around, at the time, it was around, I think, 4, 5, maybe $6, something like that. And then, of course, it did this, right? Straight up, literally a couple days after I posted. Now, this pattern is an accumulation pattern. It's what Richard Wyckoff, or Wyckoff, I don't even know how to say his name, 100 years ago or so, he laid this out, right? This is what we call Wyckoff, schematics, Wyckoff theory, if you will. So if we look at a chart like NEO, now, full disclosure, I'm invested in NEO. What I did was I bought NEO after it crashed, and when it doubled up back here, I saw this forming. I considered it a box. I was in it around $8, and so I actually sold half from a double. It popped up, didn't quite get to, I think, double. I think I actually sold it like 95% pump. I started to feel like the pump was wearing thin, and so I sold half, essentially creating a free position. And I've been watching this thing grind sideways now for a couple of years. And if I look at this, you'll notice this looks very similar to this pattern on AMC. Now, does it guarantee that it's going to do the same thing? Of course not. But that's the pattern. If you go look at a market cycle chart, that's the depression phase of a market cycle. So now I want to show you this chart. This chart also looks like that AMC chart. Huge downtrend, sideways action, essentially creating a range. And so I'm looking for this to essentially break out of this. Now, a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space who call themselves traders, if I show them this chart and don't tell them what it is, if I said, hey, it's just a random altcoin, they would probably agree with me. Yeah, that actually looks really bullish. There's just one problem, guys. This is an inverted chart. That's what it actually looks like. And this is measuring Bitcoin versus gold. In other words, this chart is actually bearish. But if I put it on Twitter like this, I'll get massive pushback. If I put it on YouTube like this, I'll get pushback. If I put it on any social media that, where the crypto bros hang out, I'll get massive pushback. But if I put it on there like this and tell them it's an altcoin, oh yeah, that's definitely going to go that way. And it's not definitely going to go that way, to be clear, right? There's no such thing as a sure thing or a guarantee. But all I'm doing when I, look at these charts is I'm just looking at patterns. The pattern worked on AMC. I'm hoping it works on NEO. It's worked on many, many other cryptocurrencies and many, many other stocks and precious metals for that matter. It just works. If I go over here and look at gold, for example, I put this on a quarterly chart because gold moves very slow. Take it off of, okay, we're not inverted. So here's gold, 1980 bubble, $800, $900 an ounce, crashes, long downtrend, sideways range, forming up our box, and parabolic. Look at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Every single market cycle looks like this, going all the way back to its beginning. You have the crash, sideways action. You can't see the crash here because this is Coinbase, but it crashed from around $1,000. Sideways range, and parabolic cycle. Crash in 2017, 2018 bear market, sideways range, AKR box, and parabolic cycle. Crash in 2022, sideways range, and parabolic cycle. Seems to me that when I look at these charts and look at this chart, they all seem to say the same thing. So I'll wrap up there. As always, please remember I'm some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, which means that nothing in the video is financial advice. You should always go out and do your own due diligence and seek out professional financial advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency, the stock market, precious metals, forex, or any other tradable assets.